The black trails of the Super Dragon Balls faded into the deep darkness of space. They were gone. Gohan floated there, alone in the silence. It was a terrible silence. It was the sound of failure. He looked at his hands. They were the hands of a god, the hands of the divine beast. They were strong enough to crush asteroids and catch lightning, but they were not fast enough to catch the dragons. Gohan felt a cold knot in his stomach. It wasn't fear. It was dread. He knew what was coming. He had seen it in the visions in the void. The Super Dragon Balls were not just wish orbs. They were batteries. They held the power of Zalama, the Creator. If a being of pure evil absorbed that power, it wouldn't just be a strong monster. It would be the end of reality. Gohan closed his eyes. He extended his senses. He reached out with his mind across the vast distance of Universe 6. He felt the darkness gathering in the demon realm. It was growing like a cancer. It was a heartbeat. Thump, thump, thump. Each beat sent a ripple of cold energy through the stars. Gohan opened his eyes. They glowed red for a second. He couldn't stay here. He had to regroup. He had to save his friends. He focused on Broly's energy. It was weak. It was flickering like a candle in a windstorm. Gohan clenched his jaw. "Hold on, Broly," he whispered. "I'm coming." Gohan raised 2 fingers to his forehead. He didn't use the instant transmission of the yard rats. He used the Kai of the gods. He didn't need to lock onto energy. He just needed to think of the place. He vanished in a swirl of magenta light. Instantly, the scenery changed. The cold vacuum of space was replaced by the scorching heat of the metal planet. But the heat was dying. The planet was cooling rapidly. The lava oceans were turning into gray rock. The factories were silent. The air smelled of burnt metal and ozone. Gohan appeared on a shattered platform. The ground was covered in debris. In the center of the platform, there was a tragic scene. Caulifla was sitting on the ground. Her wild hair was matted with sweat and dust. She was crying. It was a sound Gohan had never heard from her. She was always so tough, so brash. But now, she was just a scared girl. Her head was bent over a massive form. Broly lay on the metal plates. He was in his base form now. His black hair was spread out. His skin was pale. There was a terrible wound in his chest. A hole burned right through him. It was cauterized, black and red around the edges. He was taking shallow, raspy breaths. Every breath sounded like it hurt. Kale was kneeling on the other side. She was holding Broly's giant hand in both of hers. She was sobbing quietly, her shoulders shaking. A few feet away stood Nuova Shenron, the Sun Dragon. He looked like a broken statue. His golden glass armor was cracked, his fire was dim. He was staring at his own hand, the hand that had fired the beam. The shock collar on his neck lay on the ground, broken in pieces. The death of the masked man had released him, but the guilt was a heavier chain. Gohan walked forward. The sound of his boots on the metal made Caulifla look up. Her eyes were swollen. When she saw Gohan, her face twisted in anger and desperation. "You!" she screamed. "You're supposed to be the strongest! Why weren't you here? Why didn't you stop it?" She tried to stand up to punch him, but her legs were too weak. She fell back down. "Save him!" she begged. "Please! He saved us! He jumped in front of it!" Gohan didn't say anything. He didn't make excuses. He knelt down beside Broly. He looked at the wound. It was bad. It had missed the heart by less than an inch, but it had punctured a lung and severed major energy pathways. Broly's life force was leaking out. "Broly," Gohan said softly. Broly's eyes fluttered open. They were hazy. He looked at Gohan. A small, weak smile appeared on his face. "Friend," Broly wheezed. "Safe?" "Yeah," Gohan said, his voice thick with emotion. "They are safe. You did good, Broly. You did really good." Gohan placed his hand over the wound. "This is going to sting." Gohan closed his eyes. He summoned his divine ki, but not the destruction energy. He summoned the creation energy he had learned about in the Garden of Beginnings. The pink aura around him turned soft and white. It flowed from his hand into Broly's chest. Broly groaned. His back arched. The energy was knitting his flesh back together. It was forcing the cells to regenerate. It was a painful process. Steam rose from the wound. Gohan poured more power in. He felt his own stamina draining. He didn't care. He pushed harder. Slowly, the hole began to close. The color returned to Broly's face. His breathing became deeper and less raspy. After a few minutes, Gohan pulled his hand back. The wound was gone, replaced by a large, white scar. Broly took a deep breath. He coughed. He sat up slowly. He rubbed his chest. He looked at Gohan with wide eyes. "Warm," Broly said. Kale threw her arms around Broly's neck. She buried her face in his shoulder. Broly patted her head gently. Okay. Gohan stood up. He felt a little dizzy, but he shook it off. He turned to Nuova Shenron. The dragon hadn't moved. He was still staring at the ground. "You," Gohan said. Nuova flinched. He looked up. His eyes were full of shame. "Kill me," Nuova said. "Do it. I have no honor. I attacked a defenseless opponent. I am trash." Caulifla stood up. She wiped her tears. She glared at Nuova. "Yeah, kill him! He shot Broly!" She raised her hand to fire a blast. "Stop," Gohan ordered. Caulifla looked at Gohan. "What? He almost killed our friend." "He was controlled," Gohan said. "I saw the collar. He didn't do it willingly." Gohan walked up to Nuova. The dragon braced himself for a hit, but Gohan just extended a hand. "We need help," Gohan said. "The King of Shadow Dragons has the Super Dragon Balls. If he uses them, everyone dies. Including you. Including your honor." Nuova looked at Gohan's hand. He looked at Gohan's face. There was no hatred there, only determination. Nuova felt a spark in his chest, a spark of his old self. The noble warrior. He reached out and shook Gohan's hand. I will help," Nuova said. "I will die to make this right." "Don't die," Gohan said. "Fight. That's better." Gohan tapped his communicator. "Piccolo, we are ready. We are coming to the cube." "Hurry," Piccolo's voice said. "The sky is turning black." Gohan gathered everyone. He put a hand on Broly's shoulder. He signaled Nuova to grab on. "Hold tight, we're warping." Pop. They vanished. They reappeared on the mountain peak where Whis had dropped them off. The travel cube was sitting there. Piccolo and Kaba were waiting. When they arrived, the first thing they noticed was the sky. The reddish tint of the Universe 6 space was gone. It was replaced by a creeping, oily blackness. The stars were not just twinkling. They were vanishing one by one. It looked like someone was erasing the universe with a giant eraser. Piccolo walked over. He looked at Broly. "He's okay?" "He'll live," Gohan said. "But he needs rest. His energy is low." "We don't have time for rest," Kaba said. He was looking at his frozen arm. The ice had melted, but his skin was blue and bruised. "Look at that!" Kaba pointed to the north. In the deep distance, there was a swirl of energy. It looked like a funnel cloud made of purple lightning. It was coming from the demon realm. "He's awake," Nuova Shenron said. His voice was grim. "Sin Shenron, the Omega." Gohan looked at the group. They were a mess. Broly was wounded. Kaba was injured. Caulifla and Kale were exhausted. Piccolo was drained from holding the ice ball. Nuova was damaged, and Gohan himself was tired from the healing and the fighting. "We can't win like this," Gohan said honestly. "If we go there now, we die." "So what? We give up?" Caulifla snapped. "I'm not giving up." "No," Gohan said. "We don't give up. We evolve." Gohan walked to the edge of the cliff. He looked at the oncoming darkness. "Nuova, Tell me about Sin Shenron. What can he do? Nuova stepped forward. Sin is the dragon of pure negative energy. He doesn't just have an element like fire or ice. He controls the decay of energy itself. If you fire a blast at him, he rots it. If you punch him, he drains your strength. And now that he has the Super Dragon Balls. Nuova swallowed hard. He will absorb them. He will become Omega. He will have the power of the Creator, twist it into destruction. He will be able to rewrite the laws of physics. Great, Piccolo muttered. Just great. Gohan thought for a moment. He absorbs energy, so we can't just blast him. We have to hit him with something he can't absorb. Like what? Kaba asked. A rock? No, Gohan said. Divinity. Gohan turned to them. The Shadow Dragons are born from the misuse of Dragon Balls. They are negative energy. Divine energy, true God Ki, is creation energy. It's the opposite. It doesn't rot. It purifies. Gohan looked at his Amons. My divine beast form. It uses that energy. But I'm not strong enough to generate enough of it to kill a Super Omega Shenron. I need a boost. A boost? Piccolo asked. Like a spirit bomb? Similar, Gohan said, but different. I need you guys to be the battery. But not just giving me Kai. I need you to resonate with me. Gohan looked at Broly. Broly, your energy is infinite. It grows with rage, but it's wild. He looked at Piccolo. Piccolo, your energy is wise. It's controlled. It's ancient. He looked at Nuova. Nuova, you are a shadow dragon. You know their frequency. You can help me tune the attack. He looked at the Saiyans. You three. You have potential you haven't even touched. So what's the plan? Vegeta's voice would have asked if he were there, but he wasn't. Gohan had to be the tactician. We go to the demon realm, Gohan said. We force him to fight us. We distract him. While you guys keep him busy, I will charge the divine energy. I will compress it. I will make a star of pure purification. And then, I will feed it to him. That sounds risky, Piccolo said. It's the only shot, Gohan said. Suddenly, a shockwave hit them. It was physical force. The ground cracked. The mountain shook. He's starting, Nuova whispered. Far away, in the demon realm. Sin Shenron stood on the balcony of the masked man's ruined fortress. The fortress was floating in a void of purple clouds. Around Sin Shenron, the 7 Super Dragon Balls hovered. They were the size of planets, but Sin Shenron had used magic to shrink them down to the size of marbles. They were pitch black, swirling with smoke. Sin Shenron smiled. His teeth were sharp spikes. Beautiful, he hissed. He grabbed the 1-star ball. He opened his mouth. He swallowed it. His body convulsed. His muscles bulged. A horn grew out of his shoulder. He grabbed the 2-star ball. Swallowed. Another horn. His skin turned harder. He swallowed them all, one by one. When he swallowed the 7-star ball, the transformation began. A pillar of black light shot up into the sky. It broke the ceiling of the universe. Sin Shenron roared. His body expanded. Spikes erupted from his back, but they were not bone. They were made of the Super Dragon Balls. The 7 balls embedded themselves into his chest and back. He grew taller. His white skin turned dark gray. His blue markings turned blood red. His eyes became voids. He was no longer Sin Shenron. He was Super Omega Shenron. He flexed his claws. He slashed the air. The fabric of space tore open. He could see into other universes. He could see Universe 7. He could see Universe 11. I see you, Omega whispered. I see all of you. He raised a hand. Let the shadow expansion begin. A wave of black goo exploded from his body. It rushed out across the cosmos. It moved faster than light. Wherever it touched, it erased. It erased planets. It erased stars. It turned them into nothing. Back on the mountain, the heroes saw the wave coming. It looked like a tsunami of ink. "It's here!" Kaba screamed. "Into the cube!" Gohan shouted. "Whis said the cube is indestructible. It can travel through voids." They scrambled into the cube. Broly carried Kale. Piccolo grabbed Kaba. Gohan pushed Nuova in. Gohan jumped in last and slammed the door. The wave of black goo hit the mountain. The mountain dissolved instantly. The cube was engulfed. Inside it was dark. They were tumbling. The cube was being tossed around like a toy in a washing machine. "Hold on," Piccolo yelled. Gohan stood in the center of the cube. He glowed pink to provide light. "Whis, get us to the demon realm. Get us to the eye of the storm." The cube, programmed by the angel, activated its engines. It fought against the current of destruction. It pushed forward. It was a rough ride. Outside the transparency, they could see the ghosts of dead planets flying by. After what felt like hours, the turbulence stopped. The cube broke through the wall of goo. They were in the demon realm. It was a nightmare place. The sky was made of faces, screaming faces of souls trapped in the shadow. The ground was made of bones. And in the center, floating on a throne of dark energy, sat Super Omega Shenron. He was massive. He radiated an aura so heavy that it made the air inside the cube feel like lead. Omega Shenron looked at the tiny cube. He smiled. "You made it," he boomed. His voice vibrated in their chests. "I was waiting for the appetizers." Gohan opened the doors of the cube. "Stay close," he told his team. They stepped out onto the bone ground. The gravity was immense. Kaba fell to his knees. Even Piccolo struggled to stand. Only Broly and Gohan stood tall. And Nuova, who was used to this pressure. "Nuova," Omega said. "My traitorous brother. You look pathetic." Nuova stepped forward. "I am free, Sin. I am no longer your slave." "You are nothing," Omega said. "And you brought friends. How cute." Omega looked at Gohan. "And you, the divine beast. I can taste your power. It smells like candied plums. Sweet. I will enjoy eating you." Gohan stepped forward. His cape flapped in the dark wind. "You won't be eating anything today. You're going on a diet." Omega laughed. "Arrogance. I like it." Omega raised a finger. "Let's test you." He fired a blast from his finger. It wasn't a beam. It was a dragon. A dragon made of red energy. It flew at them, roaring. "Broly!" Gohan shouted. "Deflect it!" Broly roared. He powered up to legendary Super Saiyan. He swung his arm. He smacked the dragon blast. It flew off into the distance and exploded, destroying a mountain of skulls. "Strong," Omega nodded, "but dumb." Omega vanished. He appeared instantly behind Broly. He kicked Broly in the back. Crack. Broly flew forward. He crashed into the ground, sliding for miles. "Broly!" Kale screamed. She turned legendary. She lost control instantly. Her rage took over. "I'll kill you!" Kale charged at Omega. She was huge. She punched Omega. Omega didn't even block. Her fist hit his face. He didn't move. He looked at her. Annoying! He backhanded her. Kale flew back, crashing into Caulifla. They both tumbled away. Piccolo and Nuova attacked together. Piccolo fired a special beam cannon. Nuova fired a Nova Death Ray. The two beams spiraled together. They hit Omega in the chest. Smoke rose up. When it cleared, there was not even a scratch. The Dragon Balls in his chest were glowing. They had absorbed the energy. "Delicious," Omega said. "More." Gohan watched. He was analyzing. Nuova was right. Energy attacks were useless. Omega just ate them. Physical attacks were too risky because Omega was stronger and faster. "I have to get close," Gohan thought. "I have to touch him. My purification only works on contact. Gohan flared his aura. The silver magenta hair grew longer. The red eyes sharpened. "Hey, ugly!" Gohan shouted. Omega turned to Gohan. "Finally, the main course." Gohan disappeared. He used Kai. He appeared right in front of Omega's face. Gohan punched. Omega blocked. Their fists collided. The impact created a shockwave that cleared the bone dust for 10 miles. The ground beneath them shattered. They began to fight. It was a blur. Punch. Kick. Block. Dodge. They were moving so fast that Piccolo couldn't see them. He could only hear the booms. Boom. 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 Gohan was holding his own. His divine beast form gave him the reflexes to match Omega. He was dodging the shadow claws. He was parrying the tail whips. But Omega wasn't tired. Gohan was. Every time Gohan touched Omega, he felt his energy draining. Omega was like a leech. "You can't keep this up forever," Omega taunted. He caught Gohan's leg. He swung him around and slammed him into the ground. Then he stomped on Gohan's chest. Gohan coughed blood. The weight was crushing. "I have the stamina of 7 universes," Omega bragged. "You are just a mortal with a fancy haircut." Omega reached down. He grabbed Gohan by the throat. He lifted him up. "Look at your friends," Omega said, pointing to the others. Broly was struggling to stand. Piccolo was kneeling. The girls were unconscious. Nuova was missing an arm. "They're weak," Omega said. "Why do you fight for them?" Gohan grabbed Omega's wrist. He tried to pry the fingers off. "Because," Gohan choked out, "because they are my strength." Gohan's eyes flashed silver. "Dragon God." "Flash!" A burst of light exploded from Gohan's eyes. It blinded Omega. Omega dropped Gohan. He rubbed his eyes. "Ah, my eyes!" Gohan fell to the ground. He rolled away. He gasped for air. He stood up. He was bruising. His guy was torn. "Okay," Gohan thought. "Plan B." He looked at Piccolo. He spoke telepathically. "Piccolo, I need time. I need 1 minute. Can you buy me 1 minute?" Piccolo heard the voice in his head. He looked at the monster. 1 minute against Omega Shenron was an eternity. It was suicide. Piccolo smiled. 1 minute? I'll give you 2. Piccolo stood up. He tore off his weighted cape. He tore off his turban. "Hey, overgrown lizard!" Piccolo shouted. Omega looked at Piccolo. "You? The slug? You want to die first?" Piccolo began to chant. "Nail, Kami, all the warriors within me, lend me your power." Piccolo's orange aura turned darker. It turned reddish-brown. He was pushing his body beyond the limits. He grew giant again. "Come and get some!" Giant Piccolo roared. Piccolo charged. He grabbed Omega in a bear hug. He pinned Omega's arms. "Broly, Nuova, now! Hit him with everything you got!" Broly saw the giant green man holding the monster. He understood. Broly flew up. He gathered all his green energy. Nuova flew up. He gathered all his fire. "Double eraser cannon," Broly shouted. "Nova Sunburn!" Nuova shouted. They fired. The blasts hit Omega. Omega roared in annoyance. "Get off me!" Omega sprouted spikes from his body. They stabbed into giant Piccolo. Piccolo screamed. Purple blood sprayed out. But he didn't let go. "Gohan, do it now!" Piccolo screamed in his mind. Gohan was floating high above the battlefield. He had closed his eyes. He raised his hands to the sky. He wasn't gathering energy from people. He was gathering energy from the concept of beginning. He was pulling the residual energy from the travel cube, which had been to the Garden of Beginnings. He was pulling the memory of the void. A small ball of white light formed in his hands. It was quiet. It didn't buzz. It didn't crackle. It was pure silence. It was the seed of Zalama. 30 seconds, Piccolo yelled. Omega ripped one arm free. He punched Piccolo in the face. Piccolo's giant tooth flew out. Omega punched him again. Piccolo's eye swelled shut. "Let go, you trash!" Omega screamed. "Never!" Piccolo roared. He headbutted Omega. The white ball in Gohan's hands grew. It was the size of a beach ball. It was incredibly heavy. Gohan felt his bones creaking. Just a little more. Omega ripped his other arm free. He placed his hands on Piccolo's chest. Dragon Thunder! Black lightning exploded through Piccolo's body. Piccolo screamed one last time. His giant form failed. He shrank back down. He fell from the sky, smoking and burned. He hit the bone ground and didn't move. "Piccolo!" Gohan yelled. Omega looked up. He saw Gohan. He saw the white ball. For the first time, Omega felt fear. That ball, it wasn't ki. It was authority. "No," Omega whispered. Omega opened his mouth. "Negative karma ball." He charged a giant red and black ball of energy. He fired it at Gohan. It was huge. It was big enough to destroy a galaxy. Gohan opened his eyes. They were completely silver. No pupils. Divine beast. Purification. Star. Gohan threw the white ball. It was tiny compared to the negative karma ball. The tiny white ball met the giant red ball. It didn't explode. It went through it. The white ball pierced the red ball like a needle through a balloon. The red ball popped. It dissolved into harmless sparks. The white ball kept going. It flew straight at Omega. Omega tried to dodge, but the ball was locked onto his corruption. It hit Omega in the chest, right in the center of the 7 Dragon Balls. Silence. Then, the white ball expanded. It enveloped Omega. "No! No! I am the king! I am eternal!" Omega screamed. His voice distorted. The black spikes melted. The gray skin peeled away. The Super Dragon Balls in his chest began to vibrate. They were being rejected. They were being forced out. The white light grew brighter. It covered the whole demon realm. Broly covered his eyes. Nuova looked away. The screaming stopped. The light faded. Gohan floated down. He landed on his knees. He was panting. He was empty. In front of him, 7 giant black stones lay on the ground. The Super Dragon Balls. They were inert. And in the middle of them lay Sin Shenron. He was back to his small, white form. He was unconscious. He was stripped of all the negative energy. He was just a dragon now. Gohan crawled over to Piccolo. Piccolo was breathing. Barely. "Mr. Piccolo," Gohan whispered. Piccolo opened one eye. He grinned. "Did we get him?" "Yeah," Gohan said, tears falling on his face. "We got him." Nuova walked over. He looked at Sin Shenron. "He is alive," Nuova said. "I didn't kill him," Gohan said. "I purified him. The evil is gone." Caulifla and Kale woke up. They ran to Broly. They checked on him. The team gathered. They were broken, bleeding, and exhausted. But they were alive. And the universe, the blackness was fading. The stars were flickering back on. Suddenly the 7 Super Dragon Balls began to glow. Not black. Gold. They rose into the air. They swirled around. A voice boomed from the balls. "You have proven yourselves," the voice said. It was Zalama, or an echo of him. "The balance is restored." The balls shot off into space. They scattered to the border of the universes again. Gohan stood up. He wobbled. Broly caught him. "Friend," Broly said. Gohan smiled. "Thanks, Broly." Nuova Shenron knelt before Gohan. "What now, divine beast?" Gohan looked at the sky. He looked at the returning stars. "Now," Gohan said, "we go home, and we sleep for a week." They all laughed. It was a tired, painful laugh, but it was a real laugh. Gohan looked at his hand. The pink energy was faint. He had done it. He had mastered the divine beast. But he knew. This was just the beginning. There were other universes, other threats. And Frieza was still out there, waiting. But for today, the war was over. The heroes limped back to the cube. They were going home. The screen fades to white as the cube flies off into the reborn starlight. The shadow dragons are defeated. The universe is saved. But what is Frieza planning in the shadows? And what new power has Gohan awakened within the essence of creation? Find out in the next episode.